Hello, Top Fan Rivalry followers, and welcome to another edition of College K. Dave, how are you this evening?
Doing great.
Great, great. It's an exciting time. We're coming towards the end of the college season and getting excited to see how the who qualifies for which different tourneys and then who's going to take it all. Although I heard your predictions pregame, so you know I like this. I like this. We won't repeat that until it's time for the tournaments to start. So, um, as we always do, let's go through the top 25 real quick, and then we're gonna break down some scores from last week and some games that we like to see. Tennessee is now number one. You have an affinity to that school. They were number three last week. Clemson is number two now. They were number four. Texas was number one, and now they are number three. Kentucky was number eight. They're now number four. Troy was unrated or unranked, and they are now number 21. Oregon is 24. They were unranked last week. And UC Santa Barbara, yes, everybody, UC Santa Barbara is now ranked number 25. And who would have thunk that UC Santa Barbara has a baseball school? I don't know if you saw that or not.
I did see that. I mean, obviously, the place to be last weekend was watching Kentucky win that series against Arkansas, watch LSU beating up on Texas A&M. Georgia swept Vandy, and out here in the west side of the country, Arizona beat up on Stanford. So Arizona jumped, I think, 4 spots this week. So, but I was watching a lot of the Kentucky and the LSU games to see how they did, and I watched a little bit of Georgia Vandy too. But it was good to see Arkansas and A&M come back to earth a little bit.
So I was actually cracking up a little bit because again, this UC Santa Barbara thing just is kind of one of those things that you just kind of shake your head and go, what's what's going on? So I looked them up. So they swept my alma mater, Cal State Fullerton, in a 3-game set since we last talked, 22-3, outscored them 22-3. And then they took care of and swept in a 2-game series, UC San Diego, 18-6. So in a 5-game span, they scored 40 runs and only gave up 9. Now you want to know why they're in the top 25? Well, that pretty much will tell you right there. Regardless if they're playing ranked teams or not, that was pretty doggone impressive.
I don't know. UCSD is a pretty good team. I know that. So
yeah, I know. And they kind of manhandled them. They said, "Here, hold my Coke. We're gonna go take care of this real quick, and then don't put ketchup on the hot dog. It's just mustard only." Well,
yeah, exactly.
You're from the Midwest. You don't put ketchup on a hot dog, do you?
No. And if you ask for ketchup, you get the door slammed in your face. You go across the street and get a hot dog from someone else.
Not from where you're from, right? You don't
No.
throw. So I had the most unique dog last night at Busch Stadium. I was in St. Louis, and I didn't realize how close I was to your hood. Growing up in St. Louis, and I had the most unique hot dog. It was just your regular style hot dog, but on top of it, they put some pastrami, hot pastrami, and I thought it was unique. Now my wife got it with the mustard. She got it with the onion and everything. I just and then she put some extra mustard on it, but I just did it all plain. But it was a great dog. And I'll tell you what,
Cool.
for 2 dogs and 2 drinks, I did not have to tap into a retirement account like you'd have to in LA.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
good stuff.
There's always that.
What are you watching this week?
What am I watching this week? Well, I'm heading to Nashville on Thursday to watch the Tennessee Vanderbilt series. Vanderbilt's desperate. They really need some wins here down the stretch. And obviously Tennessee's the new number 1 team, so they're looking to make a statement against their in-state rival. So should be a good series. Some other ones, Georgia's at South Carolina. Clemson at Wake Forest is a huge one.
Huge.
Arizona's at Utah. NC State and Virginia is going to be a good one. Mississippi State and Arkansas. That's a good one. And then Kentucky at Florida. Florida's another desperate team right now. They really need to put a couple wins together after their last two weekends weren't so good. So
You said who? NC State was at Utah?
I think that Virginia,
Okay, who's at Utah?
Arizona.
Arizona. Okay, yeah, I'm in that neck of the woods. I should probably pop in and try to catch a game. That's
Arizona's a good team.
Arizona's a great team. Yeah, it's a good
We'll
team.
talk about one of their pitchers in a minute.
There you go. I so I'm gonna watch UCSB. I want to see how
There you
much
go.
this is gonna go. So this week they play I mean they play Cal State Bakersfield. But here's the way that I feel about this. Okay. Um, if you're a team, we'll take it to the MLB for a second. If you are the Braves, the Dodgers, the teams that are running away with it, Orioles, those type of things, you have to beat up on the teams that are rebuilding, right? The Astros right now, the Angels, the White Sox. So even though you're playing Cal State, Bakersfield for 3 games, you can't let off the gas. You still got to take it to them.
I think that's one of the hardest things. I was talking to one of my son's old coaches, and I was telling him I think one of the hardest things in hindsight to teach and to coach is consistency. You can teach somebody how to swing a bat, make adjustments to their swing, throw a ball, whatever. But how do you teach that on fire, want to beat your brains in mentality and bring it every out of every inning? It's almost impossible.
Right.
But the ones that can do that would do a lot of winning.
Yeah, no, it is like you say, it is almost impossible to teach that. But you know, you gotta teach something, right? And so
Yeah.
um I'm
It's
also
it's
looking
human
at
nature
Troy.
to let up a little bit.
Exactly. I'm also looking at 21, number 21 ranked Troy. We're filming this on Tuesday night, so at present, Troy is playing Louisiana. And so number 18, I'm curious to see how that goes. This weekend or this week, they have Alabama. Uh, I'm sorry, they just played Louisiana. I'm sorry, they took 2 out of 3. They outscored them 37-23. They did lose the game 13-14, which if you scored 13 runs, you should not lose 13-14.
No.
But they are playing Alabama this week, number 22, and then they play Texas Tech uh, the 10th through the 12th. So I'm curious to see again, is it just a flash in the pants and they're in 1 week and they're out next week, or what are they doing?
Yeah. Well, and we're in the home stretch here, right? So we got a couple weekends left before the conference tournaments. The conference tournaments um, are more for bragging rights than anything else.
Mhm.
And then we'll have the selections and the regionals will be announced and all of that. And every year, just like March Madness, somebody's going to come out of these regionals on fire that no one expected to see, and it could be a team like that. You just never know. But
So,
the the depth of the pitching staffs, I think more than anything, are going to carry the day because you're going to have to get deeper and deeper into your staff. And if you've been riding 6 and 7 guys a weekend, now you got to get down into the 10th and 12th guy. Hopefully they're ready.
yeah, 100%, 100%. Okay, standout performances.
So I mentioned my little teaser when we were talking about Arizona.
Mhm.
Clark Candiotti, you might remember that last name.
Yep,
Um,
and
pitches for Arizona. He threw 9 innings, 5 hits, no runs, 7 strikeouts, full complete game shutout.
he strike out his
Chase
dad, huh?
Burns. Yeah, there you go. Chase Burns. Um, we talked about a few times on this show, but 6 innings, 13 strikeouts. So doing my math there, that's 5 outs. He got a different way. Crazy. And then on the hitter side, AJ Guerrero, I actually watched a little of that game on cable. They were playing Arizona State. Watched a little bit of that this weekend. He went 10 for 16 over the weekend. 10 for 16,
10
four
for
home runs,
16 isn't
13
bad.
RBIs.
10 for 16 is
And
not bad.
then there's a guy, George Corona, Louisiana Tech. I had a guy like this last week. I picked him out. This guy went 5 for 17. but all five left the yard.
Well, anything we're doing is we're doing well.
Yeah, I mean, why bother stopping at a base? Why sprint when you can jog?
When you can jog, exactly. Um, from the offensive side, I pulled up some. We've talked about Charlie Gon or
Condon.
Condon
Yeah,
before over at Georgia. The kid's still staying on fire, right? 83
sure.
hits overall. He's batting 450, 459. Every week
Yeah,
it seems like he picks up a couple more hits, and he's doing video game stuff.
ask Vanderbilt built how they did against him last weekend.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I bring him up. um, uh, interestingly enough, Clayton Gray, over at Austin Peavy, Junior. He had a good week too. He also has 83 hits in the season, so he's not having a bad go at it. But I was interested. I pulled up an overall stat to not just looking at how the week played out, because each of these guys are just having really, really good weeks consistently. But a kid that we haven't mentioned yet, his name is Joshua. Um, Joshua is Brawler from Rutgers, junior. 100. Listen to this, Dave. 194 at bats, 85 hits. 85 hits. 85 hits is combined what the Angels have all this season as a team. So, yeah, sorry, there might be a little truth to that, right?
Yeah,
Did you pay attention to anybody on the bump this week?
those are the two I mentioned,
Okay.
Candiotti
Yeah.
and Burns. And then, of course, I watched the Tennessee game on Sunday and
Yep.
for Saturday. And then I watched some of the Kentucky and I watched some LSU.
Kentucky and LSU. Yeah. Yep. 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 Um, the uh, I was I was looking up just some overall statistics since we're kind of wrapping up the season, as we're mentioning. And Ryan Johnson, have you heard of this kid?
No, I have not.
Dallas Baptist Jr., 81.1 innings this season. That's a lot of innings, right? 18 earned runs.
That's pretty good.
That's very good. 192 ERA. And I was looking at some statistics from this last week, and he just looks like he has control. And again, 18 earned runs in 84 innings.
You combine that with the fact, like you were just talking about, you've got a kid over in Rutgers that's batting close to 500. Charlie Condon's probably batting over 500. The college baseball has definitely swung to an offensive slant. So, um, if you're not hitting 400 as a hitter, everybody's like, "What's wrong? 350? What's wrong?" Which is crazy. But then if you're a pitcher and your ERA is below 4, you're doing pretty darn good. Below 3.5, real good. So below 2 is insane.
Mhm.
When you've got metal bats and these short porches and all that stuff.
So there's three people right now in the college circuit that have under 2 ERAs, and it's ridiculous. Hagen Smith over at Arkansas is junior, 66 innings, 10 earned runs, 1.36. 1.36 isn't bad, even though Ryan has pitched 18 more innings than him. Who cares? If a guy's only given up 10 earned runs in 66 in a third innings, a lot of people are going to talk about him. There's a kid named Tyler Bronner over at UC Santa Barbara. 61 innings, 17 earned runs, 2.51 ERA, and had a good week as well. So again, it's just the little things, right? And when you're going into something where it's not uncommon, like you say, where a college team can hit and hit very effectively and very well, it's not uncommon to shake it up a bit, right? And so Anybody that's got an ERA under 2, I'm happy with. Hence,
Well, like I said,
College
in
K.
college baseball, 4 is pretty good. Under 4, you're probably leading your team or close to it. Under 3.5 or 3, you're probably an All-American.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
and when you're talking about juniors, you're talking about them getting, calls, right? And are you interested in leaving college? Do you really want to finish college? How about we pay you an awful lot of money?
yeah. Well, if they're draft eligible, then that's all coming up in July, and there's probably a group of people in the stands with backpacks and radar guns. So
Well, there better be if a kid throws 81 innings and he only gives up 18 earned runs, somebody better be talking to him, right? So, okay, so as usual, we broke down what we saw, what we're looking for, a few statistics, the top 25. You're heading out this week. You're going to head out to Nashville to catch the Vandy Tennessee series, which is fantastic. That's a great rivalry out there in the great state of Tennessee. And so you and I are going to try to do our best to go live at some point on Saturday.
Saturday is a 3 o'clock Eastern game. So sometime after that anthem finishes up, we'll try to get in there.
I have a family wedding on Friday, and which is an all-day affair. And Saturday, I think we have a second reception. So I'll keep you posted on. I'll text you and say I broke away for 10 minutes. Let's do it quick, quick, quick. So, anyways, well, I love doing these
Well, I'm looking
shows.
forward to it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to give me the behind the scenes look a little bit more too, because I love hearing how the stuff breaks out, and I love hearing what you're hearing from the parents and whatnot. So keep me posted for sure.
Yeah, I know Vanderbilt. There's no love lost between the two schools. They're actually um, pretty bitter rivals. But left field, I think, has a parking garage, and that's a common spot for folks to tailgate right on the top and get a perfect view of the field right from left field. So I may spend a
So
little time up there too. We'll see.
so tell me, when you're at Vandy, how much does that hold? What's the capacity?
You know what? I don't know. Never been. I think it's probably similar to UT, but I don't know. I do
Okay.
know that they try not to sell tickets to anybody but Vandy fans. So they actively try to manage that. And at Auburn, our player seats were almost as far down the right field line as you can go. If we were any further, we would have been like, um, I don't know, past the bullpen.
And
So
I'm
I'm curious to
proud.
see where Vandy puts us. They'll probably put us, up way up in the Bob Euchre seats, top corner or something, as
And I'm
far
proud
away
to
as
be an
possible.
American, where at
Yeah,
least I know I can get a ticket to a college game.
yeah. So, and then the Auburn fans were wondering why we weren't in our seats, why we were walking around. Well, look at my seat. I'm not sitting there.
Oh, the Padres tried to do that during the Dodgers Padres playoffs a couple years ago, and MLB kind of sniffed it and said, no, 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 no. But by then the damage had been done. But the Dodger fans got sneaky and found out who they knew in San Diego. I knew one guy that had personally bought, air quotes, or at least his address was used well over 300 times for the same game, and nobody caught it.
I felt like I was like, you're the guy taking a selfie and
Yeah.
you're right on the edge of a mountain and they keep saying one more step back, one more step back. And that's what I felt like at Auburn. Like if I go one more step, I'm falling right off the edge.
Hey, don't worry, I got this, coach. We'll get there.
But then but then they got all upset with us when we were walking around the concourse cheering for our team and they were playing like crap and we weren't in our seats. So
So what? It's
oh well.
baseball. It's America, right?
Yeah. So well that's what the police said too.
Yeah. So what? I paid to be here. Uh, all right, Top Fan Rivalry and College K followers, we appreciate you listening in. We're grateful for you. We're excited to bring you the best that we can. And Dave, like I said, we'll go live on Saturday. We'll figure out scheduling and everything like that. So we'll take it from there.
Sounds good.
All right,
Yep.
my friend. Talk to you soon.
See ya.